All right, guys, man. We just wait. Hey, we waiting on Coach Cole, and just as we get kicked off, Coach Cole jumps in, so he'll be right here. We just trying to get him set up. But while we're waiting, I want to welcome everybody to HBCU Coach's Corner. Our head coach, Coach Cole, just jumped in, and I guess I'm the OC of the DC. Hold on, let me get you right, Coach.
What's up?
Yeah,
what's
I'm
up,
the OC of the DC. Let's see if we got some sound coming from you, Coach.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
No sound just yet, Coach.
All right, hold on. What you got? All right. Still no sound?
No sound just yet.
All right, I unmute it. Good to roll.
Oh, y'all, what's up, Coach?
1, 2,
Y'all can hear Coach. Hold on, let me see something in. Maybe I'm the one that
1, 2,
can't
3.
hear him. Hold on. Let me switch up then.
Everything you must get mute. You don't want me to talk to the folks today?
You know that ain't it, Coach. I just I had my sound all messed up, Coach. My bad.
Dixie says she can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine, Coach. My bad. It was I had my sound messed up. My apologies, sir. We on our way, Coach. We on our way as we start HBCU Coach's Corner, Coach. As we always do, Coach. How you doing?
Good. Doing okay. From my practice. I had practice today, and with my elementary 4th and 5th grade team. We got a big game tomorrow.
Oh, y'all got a big game tomorrow, Coach?
Oh yeah, Coach. Be excited. I'm trying to win the city championship out for real.
Yeah. We say, Coach, you coming back and trying to win the city championship. Hey, Coach, you got kind of an echo in your background, Coach. I don't know if your audio on your laptop is turned. Yeah, I still hear you, Coach. Still hear
echo?
Yeah, I hear it.
Let's see. All right, what about now?
It's gone, Coach.
Okay. Can you hear me good?
Yeah.
You hear me good? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's rock and roll. Man, we got a special guest today, bud.
Absolutely, Coach. I'm doing a little research on our special guest, Coach, and I can't wait to get her on to talk a little some women's basketball, Coach. This is I can't remember if women's basketball has been as popular as it is right now. It's really gained tremendous momentum due to the fascination, in my opinion, of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. That rivalry will be extended into the WNBA next year, Coach. I watched the draft, and I saw both of them get drafted. Caitlin Clark went number 1 to the Indiana Fever, and Angel Reese was drafted by the Chicago franchise. And I'm looking forward to seeing that unfold in the pro game.
Yeah, that makes our guest, our special guest, special. You know, she's a championship coach herself. She's a champion player, and she's a fashionist. She has her own style, and I tell you, and then she's married to another great man, Coach Thornton, who's been a defensive coordinator. Now he's an assistant coach at Alabama A&M. You know, so you got a wife and husband team there, and Alabama A&M should be grateful. They got 2 great people.
Yeah, that's good, Coach. Alabama A&M So let me ask you this, Coach, and we'll ask questions. How long had Coach Thornton been with the football team?
He just got over there this year. You know, they end up firing a defense coordinator, and they really their defensive staff, and he was able to get on with the new defense with Coach Maynard.
Oh, okay. And where was Coach Thornton coming from?
He was coming from Grambling State, where he was the defensive coordinator over there. You know, he got an extensive background. He's an Alabama State graduate. Played there, also coached there. He coached at Texas Southern. He's been a defensive coordinator at Grambling as well as Alcorn, and he's done. You know, his numbers are very good, and he just waiting on his opportunity, man, to be a head football coach.
Well, that's awesome. And I know it was, well, in that case, with the football coach Thornton already being at Alabama A&M, and Coach Thornton having the pedigree and resume that she has, it seemed like it was a natural fit that she would move to Alabama A&M to ultimately join her husband there in Huntsville. So that, I mean, that was that seemed like a natural.
Well, you know, both of them have been working towards that, and you know, like I said, he was the defense coordinator at Grambling, and she was the head women's basketball coach at Pamela. So they had been living apart, man. But that tells you, you know, something about those two individuals, you know, of being coaches and also, you know, trying to grow as a family. So my hat goes off to both of them. Thank God that they're able to work in the same place for, I don't know if it's the first time, but we'll find that information out once she gets on. You know, Dawn Thornton, now, she ain't nothing. She's not only a great basketball coach, she's a fashionist. You know, you come to the game just to see what she gonna put on that week. You know, her and Tamika, you know, and Jackson State, man, you know, that's the swag, though. That's the swag. You know, that's all I do. I remember when Eddie Robinson wears a shirt and tie, and you know, the gunslinger would wear his hat. And we had one coach, Coach Dorsey, he wore a hard hat, a steel hard hat. So, man, that's the pageantry and that's the fashion that we have at HBCUs is compared to none, Coach. We set the standard, you know, we set goals, and you know, it's entertaining. It's entertaining.
So you say the fashion is part of the pageantry in HBCU sports.
We doing it our way. We doing it our way.
Well, let me ask you this, Coach Cole. You know, since we're already talking women's basketball, and you're a SWAC historian, has there been any one coach impacted women's basketball the way on the HBCU level, the way that Tamika Reed has? Can you?
Man, Coach Walker at Alcorn State, though. She's the winning in and out. Dawn, she'll talk about her coach. That they won 5 SWAC championships. Coach Denise Taylor. Also, Coach Denise Taylor was a part of the first staff as a head coach in the WNBA. So, oh yeah, man, we've had great coaches come out of the SWAC, women coaches, especially in basketball. You know, again, I can't say enough about Jackie Walker, who used to be at Alcorn State.
Hey, Coach, we were texting back and forth. We were texting back and forth today, and Mr. Campbell, who is one of the contributors on the show, he mentioned that Cheney State and Louisiana Tech once played for a national championship. Coach, is Cheney State in the HBCU? Is it?
Yeah, they are. The one up in Pennsylvania.
Wow. Yeah. And they played for the national championship back in 1982.
They had a great coach went on. Yeah. They had a great coach going on, and she went on to do great things in women's basketball.
All right, Coach. Well, speaking of great coaches, With no further ado,
Coach, I'm freezing too.
oh, you freezing.
Okay.
I'm sure we can hear you just fine, Coach. You know how usually you unlock every now and then. With no further ado, I bring to you guys our special guest today, the current head coach at Alabama, women's head coach at Alabama A&M University, Coach Thornton. Coach Thornton, I want to thank you for joining us today. I know you're just getting your feet on the ground in your new position, and I want to thank you for joining us. And I want to also thank Coach Cole for hooking this interview up, Coach. First, I'd like to ask you, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Hey.
All right, Coach. Coach, I did my homework on you, and you're very familiar with HBCU. Your basketball, women's basketball. You're a name that everybody will recognize. I just want to ask you, what made you inspired you to become a college head coach, and particularly coach in HBCU basketball?
Well, when I was high school, I had two great that inspired that guided me to a point I felt trying to figure out who I'm become as a young girl. What is that look for Dawn? And my coach just so in my life, everything that they still made me resonate with what type of life I have, everything just clicked. And I knew from when I was in the night, my JV coach, Darius Pete, Johnson of Cal were the biggest in my life.
Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach,
how you doing?
I'm good. Is mine okay?
Yeah, Coach, you're cutting out a little bit, Coach. Do you have your echo cancellation on your settings in the connection? Let me see if I can.
I got it on now.
All right, Coach.
Yeah, she sound good. Coach. Yeah, Coach, I seen your press conference. And did you lay that outfit out, or did you, man, you came in there sharp, you came in there demanding, and you gave them everything to be excited about. And I look forward to, I know you could put how you carry yourself and how you look, and I know you love them young ladies and you want to set the presence. And man, Alabama A&M, man, it's I know you made an impact right now on Alabama A&M ladies basketball.
It's a beautiful, beautiful place. From the outside looking in, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I see they got a little something over here. You see the brand new arena, that the event center that we play in. I got to get used to saying we. I'm sorry, that we play in. It's just something that we have a new athletic director. We have a new president. Everything is forward moving and growing in Huntsville and thriving. And it was one of those things where he's like, let me see what they're working with over here. And the more that I learned and pulled the layers back of A&M, the more it just made me so excited. I wanted to give the Bulldog Nation a diva, though. You know what I'm saying? Like I needed to let them know, like, we gonna do this the Bulldog way. We are, but we gonna put a little sprinkle of the diva in this mix a little bit too.
Coach, I was telling him, I'm a lot older than you. I've been around the SWAC a little longer, but I want to tell you, you and Tamika and the women basketball coaches, man, Man, y'all bring back that old spirit of how the coaches used to carry themselves, you know, and shirt and tie and suits on the sideline and hats and you know, it used to be entertaining and it always started from the coach, man. I wanna thank you guys because right now you guys are also have made women basketball, man. Y'all taking this thing to another level. How you feel about all the excitement about women's basketball?
Women's basketball is on the move right now. And as we continue to push forward and really give our young women a voice of inclusion, you know, we're really it's about to be a major shift. You're absolutely right. Having that tradition and that culture, being able to go back to, I remember what my college coach used to come in the locker room and we just wanted to see what she was going. And Denise Taylor coming that thing with a leopard suit, a leopard shirt, leopard knee-high boots. She tried to draw a leopard on her eyelashes or something, you know, like and and it's just something that, you know, if you know that your coach feels good about the way they walk in a room, you know you gonna feel good as a player because you know how your coach coming, you know. So that's just a part of it. And I think that as we continue to evolve, we're able to express ourselves on the sidelines more. We're able to talk and communicate. And giving us a platform to have a voice. We're seeing and hearing more of that. And I think as you have more Black women that are in positive positions and in positions of empowerment, you're gonna continue to see the Black females thrive in this women's basketball game, and that's what we really got to shift this movement to.
Yeah, done. You know, my host, Trusty Rocky, you know, he went to school on the other side. So, you know, but he don't fell in love with all this flavor, you know, I've been giving him lately. You know, now Rocky, he done. Now, Denise Taylor, we went to school together. Me and her, we were partners, boy. Me and Denise go way back. You know, and also done, y'all athletic director, he's from where I'm from Dayton, Ohio. Paul.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know, I'm well connected, and you're around some good people. Or I've been taught by Denise, of course, and Paul is a good man. He's gonna make sure that you have what you need. I was just curious, and I almost had to fight some folks, Don. I love your husband. It was like, well, it was a lateral move from Pine Bluff to Alabama A&M. I didn't see it that way because I know Pine Bluff uh, uh, can't give you a lot over there. And I thought the move was great. I thought it was a step up. I think that you can get some more things that you need to push you to that level. Because you know you've been there, and Jackson State been running the women's basketball. Now that you think you're over A&M, does that give you another edge and another step that you can take the program to win the SWAC?
Absolutely. I thought that I saw a few comments where people were saying lateral moves. And you know, some I have to remember, like, don't open your mouth and say nothing. Just don't open your mouth and say nothing. Cause I be wanting to be like, you know, come like you just make it make sense. People don't know that it was very, very, very challenging for 5 years being at Arkansas Pine Bluff. Although I am very thankful. Do I feel like I'll be on on this coaching corner right now with this Alabama A&M shirt on? Absolutely not. Have I not gone to a UAPB? So I want to be very, very, very clear for the love and the respect that I have for for our women's basketball program that we built at UAPB. However, in turning the page, Alabama A&M University is a place where every head coach in this conference would love to be able to be a part of. The resources, the town is thriving, the community support. It is 10,000 alums. That's an hour and a half from Huntsville, Alabama. Birmingham and surrounding areas. It's 10,000 alums. We had 2,000 students to enroll at Alabama A&M in the fall of 2023. Now you tell me what other swag school has 2,000 new incoming freshmen. That's not lateral anywhere you go. That lets you know that everything that means more dormitories, better options in the cafeteria. We have a lot of stuff that I ain't even gonna share everything that we got because I don't even want the haters to start. And I ain't gonna even lie to you. So just know if they think that it's lateral, let them continue to think that it's a lateral move. However, I know now that coming to Alabama A&M as opposed to being at an Arkansas Pine Bluff, the playing field has now been. That's what I got to say.
Yeah, Coach, I want to ask you this, Coach. What are some of the unique challenges that you face at Alabama A&M that that you'll face trying to take them from where they are right now to the point to where they can compete for a SWAC championship? For you can.
I think the biggest challenge for any coach is making sure that resources are available for your kids to have everything that they need. Um, which we definitely have checked the box in all of those areas. AD Brian and President Williams are very Williams is very, very um adamant on letting you know that the resources are here for you to be successful and expect nothing less than success. Um I think a challenge that you will face as a coach is putting together a roster that can compete at a high level. And it took me at UAPB, it took me 3 years to really get the roster right. It's hard. You're trying to figure out what pieces need to be where they should be and where they should fall, but getting that roster right is something that I'm going to really focus on, because I'm gonna tell you, A&M has a standard of class, great character, and it ain't always about the talent. They want to win, but they have a certain way that they want to look when they win, and we are going to uphold that standard. So just making sure we have the right pieces together that's gonna buy into the system. And I think that that's gonna be our biggest challenge. But other than that, everything else is in place to be successful.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback on that. And I know you the right person for that. And speaking from the football side, they've always either been from the middle up. They've never been at the bottom, and it's always been a class act at Alabama A&M. Each time I've faced them in the game of football. In the city, I agree with it's more engineers there, and I talked with Don when we talked last year,
Yeah.
and she was just I heard the frustration that you was one or two players. I don't know if it was recruiting keep you from there, the money, the place where Pine Bluff is, because it ain't the best place you want to bring a recruit. But I look forward to you and you battling the SWAC. And have you started your recruiting yet?
A little bit, just a little bit.
Hey, Coach, have you completed assembling your coaching staff?
Yes. So we are in a place where our staff is in place. We're just transitioning them to Huntsville as well as myself. But just to kind of talk about recruiting, um, Johnnie, recruiting is what I do. I'm gonna be quite frank with you about that. If I can bring three 5 stars, 1 4-star, and 3 3 stars to Pine Bluff, Arkansas,
Yes.
please believe they're gonna roll up in Huntsville, Alabama. We have recruits on campus this week, coming in on Friday. So I'm sure Twitter gonna be jumping on Monday and Tuesday when we get commitments. So we just flying under the radar. Humbly speaking, I am very humble, those that don't know me. But
Yeah.
humbly speaking, but we are really excited about the recruits and my staff that we have coming in. I was a little disappointed this year when we played Jackson. We played Jackson 3 times this year. The
Wow.
first time that we played Jackson, Zay sat out. She hurt her knee the night before. Didn't play Jackson with Zay the first time. We had some discipline issues that we had to handle and deal with. So the second time we played Jackson, I was without a starter and a 6 man. And then my second leading scorer tore her Achilles at Jackson the last 30 seconds of the game. So when we got ready to play Jackson in the tournament, we were without 3 pieces. The second leading scorer, which was first team all conference player, or second team all conference player, and then another starter and a 6 man off the bench. So I've never this season, which what I my best season at UAPB. We never played Jackson with my the roster that beat the Arkansas Razorbacks did not play against Jackson State this year. And again, going back talking about those resources, we didn't have there was a lot of games we didn't have a certified athletic trainer traveling with us. And we went through a transition where my assistant coach had to get in the weight room and do strength and conditioning with the kids along with the GA. And it's just been us a lot. And so being in a position now to where somebody asked me about UAPB players coming. Being in a position where you have those resources, there's no excuse that you can't get it done. And yes, we do have players from Alabama, from UAPB coming to Alabama. The internet is gone. We're gonna break the internet this weekend. So, everything that we do is
wow. And for our viewers, Jackson State has been the cream of the cream. And Coach Tamika Reed, which is no Don. I think she was on the staff when you was a player at Jackson State.
No, she came about 3 or 4 years after me. I graduated.
Okay. But y'all had some of the same teaching from Coach Taylor.
Yes.
They've been the cream of the crop, and they do a great job. But Don has took chicken and make it out. She's done a great job at Pine Bluff, and I've been
lemons. We do lemons and lemonade here, Coach. We don't do. We don't use chicken poo here, Coach.
Bishop Campbell, are you with me?
Hey, I am here. Sorry for my tardiness.
Bishop is he go back as far as I go back in the SWAC. So he's a big basketball fan. We've been tweeting each other today about Caitlin Clark. But we'll get into that and ask you about your advice. But how you been, Coach?
Look, I'm here, Coach Thornton. I am a big fan of yours. I have a hair company. I think me and you have kind of teased back and forth. I said I'm going to sponsor them, because I know you're always looking amazing on that sideline and everything. But, Coach, I'm a huge women's basketball fan, huge supporter. And I kind of I hope this question hasn't been asked. But as somebody that is one of the leaders of the game, there are certain inflection points. So you had 1982 when the first game with the NCAA championship. Then, of course, you had Cheryl Swoops in 93 that really showed a superstar. Then, of course, Connecticut made their run, and then you went to 96. Now we have this Caitlin Clark social media era. How is that going to help a person like you that has such a great personality, that has played the game at a high level, that is clear that your players love you? How are we going to be able to bring that energy that we see at the high level down to the SWAC and give it that little flavor that we have? How are we going to be able to use that to get that same energy that now everybody's aware of how great women's basketball is?
Well, let's talk about it. That's a great question. One thing that we do have to realize is that the NCAA just really play, I don't know if y'all play spades, but the NCAA just played their big joker on us. And the big joker was now these kids can transfer again. Right. So we were good when they could transfer and get, to get cleared to transfer for the second time. Right. We were good with that. But when they were able to say that they can transfer for a third time and it doesn't matter, and then you can go and you don't have to sit, they did that to hurt us, to hurt our schools. Because if you look at it, to be honest with you, I have Zay Green on my roster, who started her career off at Tennessee, that went to Texas A&M and then end up being there with me at UAPB. Well, of course, she would have come over with me to Alabama A&M for the record. She would have come to A&M with me. However, I see the potential in her. This kid is a WNBA first round draft pick. First round draft pick. And does she get a first round draft pick up if she's at an HBCU? No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. And I don't care how I will stand 10 toes down on that. And I'm gonna tell you why. I've been on the phone with half of every WNBA head coach and assistant coach that exists and that's in the league. And that just doesn't happen for our kids. So for us as coaches, we have to be relatable. We have to be the coaches that say, I love you so much, where I really want what's best for you. And if you need to be in a situation to where you want to go and bet on yourself and do something different, you got to love them through that too. I had Maya Pete with me for 4 years. Nobody recruited Maya Pete out of high school. 0 offers. In 4 years, I let her go in the portal. I said, Maya, it's your time. Do what you do, baby girl. Baylor and Clemson both called me about Maya today. This girl has 0 offers out of high school. So our schools have given these athletes an opportunity to shine, to embrace their true self, their true being, for them to kind of get themselves back on track. However, Dawn Thornton is the type of coach who wants the best for her players. And if it's time for you to go and do something different, so that's my selling point as a coach. I love you enough so where you can help me get through whatever it is that we need to do together while we're here. But when it's your time to go, we're going to let you go ahead and move around because that's what's important. Star Jacobs is on my roster. She averaged 18 points, 15 rebounds a game at UTA. WAC Player of the Year, back-to-back in 2 different leagues. She could have also followed me to A&M. But I told Star, we ain't going to do that. She got an official visit at an SEC school tomorrow. So, we getting these type of athletes, but here's the truth. Are we going to be able to keep them? Are we going to be able to keep them? Because now they can transfer for the 3rd time. And that's the truth.
Let me ask you this, Coach Thornton. Do you say
I'll tell you one thing before you ask. Well, you gave me mixed feelings, but go ahead, Rocky.
No, I just want to ask, does she see a future where a SWAC female basketball player will be a first-round draft pick in the WNBA?
The only player that I would have said that would have had a chance to do that would have been Zay Green that I've seen. Because in talking to the Seattle Storm, Coach Pokey Chapman said to me, Zay's game exemplifies the transition in women's basketball as the game is being played. So now the game is played up and down, little trash talking. Kids are more athletic. They're playing off the bounce. They're able to be more than one-dimensional type players. And Zay Green's, she would have been one. Star Jacobs, she would have been another. But again, when you got a kid that's in the SEC that's averaging 14 and 6, or a girl in the SWAC that's averaging 17 and 9, they're gonna think that there's better basketball in the SEC than they do at the HBCU. Now, let's see, if we want to talk about it, we can talk about it because that's the truth.
Now, what I have to ask is it better basketball in the SEC than in the SWAC?
I think that because you have more money and more resources, you can make a lot of things look better on that level.
You get 2 or 3 more players than. Now, how's that NIL? Does that hurt you as well?
Let me tell you, I know how much money they've offered my players that's on recruiting visits in SEC and ACC, Big 10, Big 12. They getting lump sums up front along with money every month, and then a lump sum basically saying thank you for your service. And it's nowhere close to what any of our schools would be able to offer. It's nowhere close. A guy on the men's team told me that a school offered him, not the school, that he had an NIL deal set up for him, making $275,000. $275 in 1 year. How many of our HBCUs paying one coach one player $275?
Zero.
Hell, he making more than the coach. He making more than the coach.
Yeah. Now, this question was asked to me and you know, we were talking about Nick Saban. He was talking about NILs in the collective, and I've talked to Rocky, and he's told me his opinion of it from you know, from a outside of coaching. How do you feel about all this NIL collection? I believe the players should get paid. Hands down, they should get paid. But I think it should be something across the board when it comes to the collection part of it. Now, the NIL, that's something totally different. To me, that's an individual player that's outstanding, and yeah, he should get paid what he works. But I think the collecting part of it, it should be some type of cap on that to pay these guys. So, as a coach, you're in the mix of it right now. You know, I'm on the outside. How you feel about all this? What's going on?
Well, to be honest with you, I think from my viewpoint, I would say yes, it would make sense that that they should have a cap on it, right? Because look where we are. We you know, I can't say we at the bottom of the totem pole, but you know, I mean, you think about it. Where do we stand? A lot of these women's basketball and men's basketball programs operational budget is more than our entire athletic department budget. You know, so it puts us in a situation to where we're gonna be at a disadvantage. And I think that it's natural to say that you would want to have a cap, right? But that doesn't help their league if you cap it. It makes it more difficult for them. So for Power Five schools, I think that they do a really good job of making sure that they have those things in place for their athletes, so they can continue to beat each other. But for me, who wants to be able to beat them on any given night, I would say, yeah, I would love to be able to cap it. But I know realistically that that's not something that would ever be done.
Okay. Yeah, and I want you to add some on this part, because when I see it, here's some things that I see. What about the kid that don't develop, who loses his scholarship and now he don't go anywhere? And how you feel about the demands from a coach on a player now? It's like if you get on him too hard or her or whatever, be like, oh, well, I'm out of here. I'm not going to play here. Does that come in effect now today? Because, you
Yeah.
know, back then, of course, the player couldn't transfer much. Of course, he wasn't getting no money. And so you have more control of it or her. How you feel now as a coach? Do you still have that discipline, or do you got, you know, and I know it's a different kid now, or how do you handle all that?
Well, I think you said it best. At the beginning of it is that when those kids on the Power Five level aren't happy or aren't developing what their coach just thinks that they should be developing, those are the kids that end up on our roster. And so we're thankful for them, you know, because
Right.
we love on them a little harder. They don't have the patience because they want some of those kids to come in right then and be ready. But we love on them a little harder. We support them a little bit more. We allow them to get through some things. You know, so that's a really valid point. Um, However, it is a different generation of kids now. And social media, mental health, all of those things are really fluid in our community, especially in our HBCU communities. You know, back in the days when we were I couldn't call my mom and dad, tell my mom and dad that my coach cussed me out today. My parents wasn't going for it at all. And I would like to think that I became a better person behind that. I could understand the tough love because I knew that my coaches wanted the best from me. Can you coach the athlete, the 2024 athlete like that? Some of them you can, but a lot of them you can't. And I think that when they don't agree with things, it's easier for them to have a voice, to and have those people in their ears to tell them, you know what, you right, and you know you should leave, and you got handlers. I'm 41 years old. We didn't have handlers when we were growing up in high school and college, and these kids got handlers. You got to talk to the handler just to get to the kids. So it's just a different generation, and I think that you have to adjust, and be more understanding and be more patient when you're dealing with them. Unless you don't mind a high turnover every year of trying to rebuild the roster.
Now, Dunk, I'm so glad you with your husband, y'all together, man, because y'all make a great team. But I gotta ask, and I would love to see you coaching in the SEC. or the Big Ten, because you deserve that, But let me give you some numbers. 84%, or is it 94, Rocky, of the athletic directors in college are white, and I think 84% of them are white men. Is that right,
Yeah.
Rocky?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and that's staggering. And in general, people usually choose people that they feel comfortable with. And really, 8 out of 10, who they look like. I know you're up against all that. How you feel about that? And do you want to go to the next level? Because the head coach of Florida A&M left Florida A&M and said he want to be a Power 5 head coach. Don't get upset, Campbell. I'm gonna let you talk. Florida A&M, so he left and said he wanted to be a Power 5 coach. But the problem is there's only 10 of them today. And I don't think it's ever been, since I've been a part of black college football, of more than 10 head coaches, period, in the last 50 years of these Power 5 schools. So he took a leap of faith. Where you are with that, and are you safe where you are? Do you look to move forward? And I'll go ahead and let you explain.
I'm gonna knock your socks off with this one. I did some homework too, and I didn't know you were gonna even ask me this. So listen to this. And I don't know how many people we got listening, but I'm gonna give you some facts. Cause I'm swag. I'm swag through and through. You see Jackson State alum, right?
Yeah,
That's
I
my
see that.
jersey. I played in that jersey right there. So listen, let me give you some facts. I've been in this conference or around SWAC basketball since 2010. I took my first job at Prairie View in 2010. The head women's basketball coach at Prairie View was Toyelle Wilson. Toyelle won 3 back-to-back SWAC championships, tournament, we talk about our regular season, tournament championships, while I was there with her. I came in the year after that, and we won 4 in a row. So after that, my husband was at Texas Southern. I was around that. My husband went to Alcorn. I was around that. My husband came from Alabama. He was at Alabama State. I just met him then. He was at Grambling. So I've been around almost every school in this conference. I've been around those programs. Since 2010, Johnnie, there has only been 3 female head coaches to leave this conference in 15 years and get a job at a PWI. Let me name them. Cynthia Cooper. Does she get a pass? Maybe. She's Cynthia Cooper, right? Okay. Yeah. Then you have Janetta Hayes that left Texas Southern and went to UNBC. Yeah. And then you have Raven Justice to leave Prairie View to go to Sam Houston. Jessica Kern left Mississippi Valley and went to Tennessee State, although that's still an HBCU in the OVC. But if you want to give her the pass, you give her the pass. But it was an HBCU. Outside of those 3 coaches, how do we as Black females that are so great, that do so well, why do we not get jobs? So you're saying to me that, do you want to be at an SEC school? Is that what you want? What's next? Do the SEC schools want to hire an HBCU coach? Because let's talk about the GOAT right now. There is no reason that Tamika Reed shouldn't have a job right now on a Power 5 level today, because she's done it all. She's done a hell of a job at my alma mater. But at the end of the day, why are PWIs not hiring our coaches? So that's why Willie Simmons had to leave FAMU to go get a position job at Duke. Is that why Toyelle Wilson left Prairie View A&M University in 2013 to take an assistant job at Baylor University just to be able to have an opportunity to go be the head women's basketball coach at SMU? Let's talk about it, because at the end of the day, they don't respect us the same. They don't. So I'm a product of this conference. So, Johnnie, if the Lord says to me, and all the people who say that that's the lateral move that she wants to be, and she's swag, can they hire somebody? I'm swag. I love this conference. I got the underdog mentality because they always count us out. That's how they've always done us. And that's what we have to stand on, because it makes no sense that we don't get that same credit that our other counterparts get on so many other levels, three coaches in 15 years. That's
Well,
a problem.
let me give you a stat. There's only been 3 coaches in football in 50 years. Deion Sanders, Colorado, Willie Jefferson, Wichita State, and my man from Alcorn State. And he's white. So really, it's just been 2 black coaches that leave the SWAC and get a Division I football job.
But you can't count Deion.
Yeah.
You can't count Deion. And I'm sorry,
No.
you can't. I mean, you can use him for the stat line, but I mean, it's just one.
Yeah. And he's white.
That's
the
tough.
lead is SWAC.
So I met a gentleman not too long ago that's currently on the Baylor staff, and he coached in HBCU basketball for a long time, and he was pretty successful in HBCU basketball. But in order to get compensated, properly for his family, he said he had to take an assistant job, I think, somewhere up in the Midwest, and then eventually he came back to Texas, where he's from, to be on the staff at Baylor. This guy's a great coach, has all the accolades to be a head coach, in my opinion, when you look at his pedigree and the success that Baylor has had, even since Kim Mulkey has went on. And I think coach has been a tremendous reason why they were successful, right? But even he isn't getting the opportunities, in my opinion, that he should get, considering how successful Baylor has been the last 3 years, considering all the there's a lot of awful programs in women's basketball, to be perfectly honest with you. And they just and they don't consider our black men and women as viable candidates, even though they serve under the most successful coaches in the sport. In every other sport, I see where they take the white assistant and give him a job or her a job at a prominent program, but it doesn't seem to work like that for black coaches in the NCAA and college sports. I imagine this has to be terribly frustrating, and y'all have to do it for the love. I just hate that that's the situation and the circumstance, and what can be done to make things better, Coach?
Coach Campbell. Now, Cheney State played in the 1982 National Championship. Who is that head coach?
C. Vivian Stringer, one of the legends in the game, that actually left there and then went to Iowa. So let me just make this quick point. C. Vivian Stringer built Iowa. She took them to a Final Four. So people saying that Iowa just came out of nowhere, that's not true. C. Vivian Stringer, and also she mentored Lisa Bluter. So I just wanted to put that out there to clear that record up. Had to put that out there. Coach, I wanted to ask you a question, because I hear the frustration, and I'm a type of person that likes to talk solutions. So let me just tell you what I've seen. I have fundraised for Florida A&M. I have sponsored dance teams and schools and things like that. But here's what the NIL thing, my problem with it is. I think it's an arms race that we can't keep up. So I hear a lot of people saying, put the collectors together, let's do this. But I think that money is better served if you said, hey, Mr. Campbell, this is what my program needs as a whole, as far as facilities, as far as training tables and things like that. So do you think, because let's be honest, we cannot compete with the money at the SEC and lower mid-major. But if we have competent facilities, I think a person like you, I think that evens the player field. So let me ask you a question. What would you rather see? Would you rather have better facilities and money put to that, or money put to NIL?
Honestly, I think I would rather have better facilities than NIL money, because a lot of these kids don't care about the money. When Zay Green was making almost $1,500-$1,600 a month, clearing that a month when she was, and we talking about cost of living. We didn't even talk about the NIL money. She
Right.
came to Pine Bluff basically as a preferred walk-on, because she came late and I didn't even have scholarships left. So this girl didn't even get her financial aid refund check. So a lot of these kids really don't care about the money. But if the resources are there, if the facilities are there, and they have people in place that's going to be able to take care of the athletes and look after the athletes, that's going to go 10 times further than it will with that check, because that check is only going to be for so long. Because we can't we can't compete with the SEC and the Power 5 schools anyway with their money. So the little bit of money that we will have to offer those kids, $8, $9, $10,000 or whatever during that duration, like that's short term. But if they have the facilities and they have the resources to where you have people that can put them in place for a professional career, because here's the bigger thing: you can go to a Power 5 school, sit on the bench, and average 5 and 7, right? Because those are the athletes that we get a lot of times.
Right.
Zach averaging 2 points and 2 rebounds a game at Texas A&M before I got hurt. They come to our schools, don't worry about the check, and then they can average 17 and 15 and write their check for the next 10, 12 years.
See, Coach, hold on, Rocket. Let me just follow up with Coach. See, Coach, this is where I think the conversation needs to go, because I'm hearing these conversations, and to your point, I think it is not a long-term investment that can be sustained. But if you got these people that say, hey, Coach, I can give $40,000, $50,000, I just think that if I gave you $50,000 and you had a checklist of things to make the facilities better or make it a better experience for your players, to your point, I think that's where the advantage HBCU have. Because here's the thing, and again, I'm going to say I'm not a fan of Kill Monkeys. I'm just going to say that just for the sake of argument. I'm a fan of yours. There's no way that a person like Angel Reese, that you're not going to be able to connect with her because of who and what you are. When I saw Angel Reese say on a TV and she said, I was going through these things and people were coming at me. And I'm like, well, where's your coach? These are where your coach is going to incubate you. Some of the things that she got into, I tell you what, if Dawn Thornton was coaching her, you would say, hey, as a black woman, might not want to do that. As a black woman, let me explain to you, let me love on you, let me explain this. But here's the thing, if you give her the training table, the weight rooms, the dorms, the things that sustain you, I think that's where we even the playing field. And I think that's the better conversation that we need to have. And I'm really trying to get people to understand when I hear, oh, we got to do NIL. $500 is not going to do anything when somebody's giving you $5,000. But I tell you what, and Coach, you know this. Look, I'm from Jackson. And Coach, you understand this. If you had a clean dorm, somewhere to eat, your friends are there and everything, that is almost just as good as people going to Ole Miss. And I'm trying to tell people that. So that's the reason why I'm trying to kind of beat this drum for a coach like yourself, because I think we're going in the wrong direction on arms races that we're never going to win. Well, I think we empower you and give you what you need from a facility standpoint, which is long-term and long-lasting.
Yeah, we just have to educate ourselves a little bit more. I'm an alum, of course, of Jackson State, so excuse me. So I'm in a lot of these like group chats and stuff like that, and so I hear that from time to time. I just think that it just comes from a lack of knowledge. We really don't understand how to position ourselves so we can be the best. You know what I'm saying? Like having at A&M, I will honestly say that we have the most resources that I've ever been a part of. And we even have a sports psychologist, and we have training tables, and I'm sure Jackson been had it. I'm sure all these Jackson State people, I'm sure they already had it, right? But now when you have more of our schools to be able to have some of those same things, I think you're gonna see a different product. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to, you know. So you are exactly right. I think we have to just change the way we process things and the way we think, because we can't compete with what they have on the other side. But what we can sell is tradition. What we can sell is you could be coached by, loved by somebody who looks like your mom, somebody who's gonna make sure that if you get into some trouble, we're going to try our best to keep you out of trouble and off the news, because when you go over there showing out over there, they not going to love you through all of that mess that you got going on. It's us that embraces the culture. It's us. And so I think we do have to have those resources to put around those type of athletes, because a lot of times we are getting second and third chance kids.
One of the reasons, Don, I started the show was to produce and get people out there like yourself, because we got some great coaches and some some great programs. So where do we go from here? We got to understand and tell our people it ain't them, it's us. We got to support our own programs. You know, so if you talking to our viewers, you know, what would you say? Because you, like you said, you're an HBCU grad. I graduated from Texas Southern, and you know, we want to take our programs to other places, but it takes money. It takes money, you know, and it takes money from our alumni, you know, and we, you know, at some point we got to quit saying it's them, but it's us. And also on the coaching side of it, of giving us opportunities. Now, coaches, Caucasian coaches, are actually taking over our non-revenue sports. You know, the bowling team, the volleyball team, the soccer team. And then when you're talking to these athletic directors, these black athletic directors, they're saying, well, I'm going to hire the best person. You know what I'm saying? And I get that. But why the best person can't look like you? Because if we don't, you know, they're going to just move right over us, you know, because we're not getting the same kind of look on their side, as it would say. So
Cedric had an athlete. Cedric is my husband, for those who don't know, right? Cedric had an athletic director to tell him in his face while I was present, an athletic director in this conference, that
HBCU athletic director.
An HBCU athletic director told my husband in this conference that your resume is too black. You have too much black experience on your resume. And how is our schools good enough to educate our kids, to put us in a situation to where you want us to compete at the highest level, to win championships, but they're not good enough to turn back around and hire our own people? Or our own people feel like, why we couldn't go and get somebody else? Why can we not have the best of the best in this conference right now? And I think that at our schools, not just necessarily here, but just like HBCU basketball, football across the. Does the room know why our schools were created? Do they not know that we could not go to their schools? They not. So how offensive is it? How offensive is it for us to be okay with saying that you need to go to the white schools so you can be able to get you a head job, or for you to be able to be considered for a big time job? We got to get out of that. So you asking me, what could we do? We could support each other. When when Tamika Reed, when Tamika Reed's Angel Jackson got drafted, everybody should have been supporting that one from our conference to get drafted. When Arkansas Pine Bluff beat Arkansas Razorbacks, everybody in this conference should have been talking about it. When Southern University women's basketball team beat Oklahoma State, everybody should have been talking about it. That's not your time to attack, to say, well, what they're gonna do in the SWAC, or what's gonna happen when it comes. Celebrate each other, because when one of us wins, we all win. And that's the one thing that we have to learn to do. It's so hard for us as a culture to root for each other. I'm in a group chat with Coach Reed, as well as a lot of other Power Five head coaches, including Johnnie Crenshaw Taylor, Dawn Staley, like Carolyn Peck. I'm in this Women of Empowerment group. One thing that they do at their schools, when one win, they celebrate each other and they embrace them in the group. They've always done it. When we win, or when we're not in a situation to where like it's not our schools, we don't care. That's black on black crime. That's like what do we like? Because as we just talked about, going over the history of the statistics before then, we already got the X on our back anyway, Johnnie. They already don't see us the same.
Hey,
So
hey,
why,
I got a black X on mine, but go ahead, we okay.
but so why is it so hard for Alabama State to cheer for Alabama A&M when Alabama A&M is in the Celebration Bowl playing against a MEAC school?
Yeah.
Why is that so hard to do? I don't get it. I mean, maybe it's a culture thing. Maybe because we're so competitive and we want to win in everything. That has to be what it is. But we have to learn to embrace each other and embrace our culture. Because truth of the matter is, they don't really want us. They don't want us to come over and do that in over there.
You know, the sad part about it, Don, is we don't want each other to do such. I mean, man, I when I see, you know, again, you know, your husband and the head coach at Alcorn and all these brothers, man, is doing well. You know, I want to salute them. You know, that's what our show is all about. You know, I don't want to hear second hand. That's why I reach out to you, and you know, my next reach out, I've reached out to Tamika, and I'm pretty sure she'll put me on her busy schedule, and you know, some more women basketball coaches as well as, you know, the football coaches. And man, I'm supporting you, and I'm rooting you, and you on the right page on. That's how we're gonna be able to overcome. We got to be overcome, and we got to make the overcome, and we can't look from the other side.
I know it's been hard on Cedric, you know, for him. Winning the championship at Alabama State and going to Texas Southern and leaving Texas Southern and taking Alcorn to 3 championships at Alcorn and going over to Grambling and being a part of something special at Grambling and now being at A&M. And I'm gonna tell you, because I ain't always been Coach Thornton. You know what I'm saying? Let me say that I ain't always been Coach Thornton. And I be wanting to say sometimes, like, just listening to people and their views, they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. Sometimes maybe these are the only jobs that we can get. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't devalue who we are, because Sid in his whole coaching career has been a winner everywhere he's gone. There is no coach, there's no Coach McNair at Alcorn and all of the success that he's had. And I will say this to Fred myself, without Cedric Thornton.
Right.
So explain to me why a lot of our schools won't even interview Cedric Thornton with all of the championships that he's won in this conference as a coordinator. You know why? Because he's black.
Yeah, ain't no question that when you talk about defense in our conference, his name is definitely mentioned among the top. And you know, we just kind of, you know, gotta sit. Yeah, I guess you gotta sit it out. Do you know that in the last 23 years, all the coaches who have won the SWAC championship is either assistant, which is ain't, but most of them are out of coaching. It's like when you become a head coach in the SWAC, and however what happens, whether you win or whatever, it's you can't even join another people's staff really at the end of the day. You got Dooley now at Grambling. You got Fred at Southern, and I think that's it. You know, I think that's it as far as head coaches. What you think, Cameron?
Yeah, you know, I want to. First of all, I love the fact that Coach Thornton went to wife, because Coach, I applaud you for that, because that's what a wife is supposed to do. Because you are a protector of your husband, and you see things that sometimes he can't see, and you got to say things that sometimes he can't say. So I have so much respect for you on that. Because I wanted to go back to something. I always tell people this. I'm a huge HBCU fan. All my family are HBCU alum. My grandfather graduated Jack State in 1938. I want to talk about something that you said, because me growing up, we always rooted. If it was anybody from the SWAC, Alcorn would go to the tournament. Coach Whitney, everybody rooted for him. When Southern went and beat Georgia Tech, everybody. So it's this thing that now has changed, where I see people, you know, and I go to different schools and people say, oh, you can't root for Jack State because you went to FAMU, or you can't talk about Grambling, even though I sponsor Grambling. I'm like, that's not how we grew up. If Grambling was doing, if the G-men were doing something, we would support the G-men. Now, trust me, we were going to argue and fight when that game, Grambling and Jackson State happened, or FAMU or Jack State. But when they went off and played something else outside the conference, it was one HBCU. Everybody. But now I see everybody has no problem saying, I don't like them because they went there. And I'm like, we ain't the SEC. That's SEC mess. We don't do that over here. And it's very disappointing that this generation has now taken a hold of this social media to this point, and now they lashed out. I'm pretty sure you, like you say, you were making great wins, and people are talking about stuff that had nothing to do with the win that you just had, which really blows my mind. So with that being said, Coach, what would you like to see from the fans overall, from the SWAC fans going forward to support all of our schools?
We have to learn just to embrace each other a little bit more. You know, at the end of the day, we are people. Okay, we're people, and we have feelings. And if you cut us, we gonna bleed just like you gonna bleed, and your mama gonna bleed, and your sister gonna bleed. Just the same, we are. And so I think that we have to have a lot more respect for our coaches, because one bad apple can dictate a whole season. One injury can dictate the outplay of a whole season. So I think that we just have to show more grace to our schools. I think it's something that you have to do. And I know a lot of people won't agree with me on that, and that's fine. You don't have to. A&M loves me. Shout out to the Bulldogs. Go Bulldogs. But but it's a beautiful thing for us, and a lot of us, we don't do this for money. Being an HBCU coach, we don't do this for money. We do this because we love what we do, and we have a passion, and we want to make all of our alums happy, and we want to recruit everybody cousin and all of that, all them text messages that they get, like everybody, I get all of them. But at the end of the day, I really want us to be in a situation to where we can learn to embrace each other as a whole. I think back in the day, we were all that. We knew, see, when we knew that other people did not like us, did not want us at the table, did not want us in rooms, did not give us a voice to speak, it was easy for us to stick together, because we all we got, we all we need. But now you give us a little bit more, you can say a little bit more. You can, say what you mean and mean what you say. We talk a little bit more, and we don't mind stepping on each other sometimes to make our point be made. And I think that
Coach Thornton, I want to ask you a quick question. I'm from Waco, Texas, and I want to know, did you coach Boothie, Candace Thomas at Prairie View A&M?
Boothie was under Cynthia Cooper. So when Boothie was graduating, was my first year coming in.
Okay. Boothie coached my daughter at MCC, where she's now the head coach and won her conference. Beg your pardon?
She coached your daughter?
Yeah, Riel Millers. She played at MCC for Boothie, and coach, she used up all her eligibility. So she ain't got nothing now. But now Boothie is the head coach at MCC right now, and she just won the conference over at the JUCO. I forget the name of the conference, but it's the one with MCC, Graceland, Collin County.
Region,
yeah, I'm sure you know. So yeah,
Coach, go ahead, Coach. You came back in 2010. I started in 81. How much history do you know about women's basketball? I was asked the question, had we had any top-notch coaches? I knew back in the day, I knew Jackie Walker at Alcorn State. You give me your, and you grew up, where you grew up from? Where you from?
Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi.
So what part of Jackie? Wait, hold on. What part of Jackie you from, Coach? What part?
601 Callaway High School. I was raised right off Northside Drive.
Oh, see, that's a Northside Rider. See, that's North Jackson in the house. So we okay. I'm sorry, Coach. That was North Jackson here. We just at the bond right there. Okay, Coach. Northside Azalea Drive over here. So that's okay. That's good. Okay, Coach. I'm sorry, Coach.
I'm using the wrong name. It's Shirley Walker.
Shirley Walker.
Because Jackie Walker is the outstanding track coach at Prairie View. So I've been around a long time. Did you know about those coaches coming up? What made you choose Jackson State for a player? Did you know about SWAC ball?
SWAC ball. True. My dad was the radio announcer for Mississippi Valley when Jerry Rice and Willie Totten was playing there. So when I tell you I'm SWAC, who is SWAC if I ain't SWAC? Like I'm SWAC. So my dad again was the voice of Mississippi Valley sports. So I've been around it for a long time. Shirley Walker did have an opportunity to recruit me. She did recruit me heavily out of high school. I just couldn't see myself going to the reservation. I'm a little city girl, and that was a little bit far from me, and it wasn't nowhere kind of remotely around any of that area. So if I had to do it
Was
all,
you recruited by any PWIs?
Southern Miss, um, Southern Miss recruited me. UAB recruited me out of high school, and Louisiana Tech. I had about 4 or 5 offers. Right, I tore my ACL in the 10th grade. I had a slew of offers in the 11th grade and tore my ACL in the 12th grade, the first game. And all of the offers went away. All of them.
Wow.
All of them. So I'm a product of a JUCO. I did 2 years at JUCO. Left junior college, and Denise Taylor, it was between Jackson State and Norfolk State, and I wanted to go back home. And it's the best decision that I could have ever done. I love my Tiger family. I love Jackson State. I bleed blue and white. I am through and through. But I really, Shirley Walker was one of the greats. Frida Jackson, Alabama
Yes.
State. Come on.
Alabama State. Yes, sir. Yes.
Denise Taylor, Coach
Now,
T. Denise.
I'm glad you said that. Now I got to take some flowers out for my Denise Taylor, Texas Southern graduate over there walking. Give me two minutes about how Denise touched you, how she was able to win 5 Rocky championships. She goes back to our university to try to get the head job, and they say that since she's been out of the game, she can't coach the game anymore. But can you elaborate on Denise Taylor and her style and her philosophy? Because she also was one of the first coaches to go to the WNBA and be a head coach, right?
I was just gonna talk about that. Yeah, she coached.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, so Coach Taylor is very special to me. I can honestly say that she gave me a chance out of junior college to be a part of something special, to be a part of a winning program. They were winning championships before I got there. We won championships while I was there. And she was honestly, she was a real diva. Coach T would be on the sideline with some orange lipstick on and some orange eyeshadow, and my girl was fly. She was fly in the WNBA. And I'm gonna tell you something. I ain't never said this before, and you tell her I said this, and those who listen that know. A lot of my swag, when I put my clothes on, I think about Coach Taylor, because she was popping tags in the dressing room every game, putting on new clothes. You know what I'm saying? I was a flag girl. Be quiet. Who is DJ Soldier telling all my business? God dog.
Hey, Doug, I told you that this the #1 HBCU program. We bring the real folks on.
Hey, I still got my skills too, for sure though. But I used to be a flag girl, Johnnie. God dog. But Taylor was very, very, very instrumental in my life, and being a part of me as a coach. She didn't play. She was very, very, very tough on us and had a no nonsense type of personality. And she ran her program just like that. But she had this charismatic spirit where she could get whatever she wanted, whenever room she walked in. When she walked in, everybody knew who she was. And I watched the way I study people. I watch people a lot. And just the way that she can walk in a room and take over a room so gracefully, but she can pull your ass to the side and rip you a new one to like just real quick. And I got a lot of respect and love for her. But going back to what we talked about before then, how do you have a woman that's so successful in the WNBA, win 5 championships at Jackson State, and then can't get a job coaching anymore?
Right. Well, I was pretty upset at my alma mater. They did give her an interview, but I just didn't think it. Then, of course, we have now who we have, and I'm cheering for her, but right now she's off to a bad start. So hopefully she can turn it around. Did you know the head coach at Texas Southern back in the day?
Who?
The head women's basketball coach.
When Denise played, or after that?
No, the lady that's the head coach now at Texas Southern.
Oh, Coach Ski. Yeah, she's an Alcorn graduate.
Yeah, she's Alcorn State. Yeah, she's Alcorn State.
Yeah,
Hey, Coach Thornton.
Go ahead.
Coach Thornton, I just wanted to ask you this question. With what does a winning resume mean in the SWAC when you apply for a job?
Well, in which era?
I'm just talking about today. You know, we just went through a cycle.
That's the problem. That's one of our problems. And she touched on it, how we feel about each other. You know, you're talking about her husband that can't even get a snip at a job. Of course, you know, my situation, you can't. I guess it don't mean nothing, Coach.
But I gotta ask you a question. Rock, you asked me that?
Yeah.
Rock, I ain't come here for no mess, and y'all got me in the middle of all this mess around here. Like, y'all wanted a real one, and I guess stop asking me to talk, please. This is it, Johnny. I ain't doing it no more, because I'm gonna tell the truth, and I'm just gonna drop the mic, and I'm gonna just be done. Okay? So here's the thing. You talk about a winning resume as a head coach, but how difficult is it for you to really obtain a lot of success when the first 10 games of your conference, you got to go and play all the PWIs to go bring the check to take care of the soccer team and the volleyball? So if I have to start my season off, I played 13 games in the preseason this past year, right? And in those 13 games, there's a certain dollar amount that I'm responsible for bringing back to the athletic department. Right. So realistically speaking, Johnny, you've been a coach. How many of those games where they're cutting me a check am I supposed to win?
Right. 0.
Well, you want me to have a perfect game and to beat them. You really do. But on paper, it's not designed to do that. Right. So then when I get ready to go and apply for a job and I leave this conference, or if I go and take a job in the conference, you got to hear people to talk about, did she have a winning record where she left? Well, she also had, the Mississippi Valley coach had to go play LSU, South Carolina, Oregon. She had to go and play all these other schools. How do you expect the lady to have a winning record? How do you expect us to do that?
Right.
Well, I'll say this, Coach. What really matters, you know, like I'm kind of new. I enrolled my daughter in Prairie View 3 years ago, so that's my introduction into HBCU sports and culture. They really only care about beating the black schools anyway. It seems like to me, do they get in the interview and start talking about beating the white schools? Is that what you're trying to say? Because the culture only cares about the black schools. And that's what they want you to beat, is the black schools. But do they get it, or you say they get in the interview and start looking at your PWI record and try to grade you on that in evaluating your success as a coach?
We really preaching tonight, because to be honest with you, they're gonna look at your overall record. And so for your overall record, if you have to start off your season and go do the homework, go look at how many games that our schools, our conference, on the women's side, I don't know about the men's side, go look and see how many wins that a lot of our schools have out of conference.
And if you beat somebody, they're not going to play you again.
They're not going to play you. You're right. But on the backside of it is, you almost got to run through the whole conference and go undefeated just to get a winning record, because you're going to start your season off in January 0-8, or 2-10 because you went to go and play Tougaloo and Jarvis Christian College.
Right.
Coach, let me ask you a question. Coach, hold on. Let me ask you a question about, as you've been coaching for a long time, many times coaches build schedules based off of what they have in their team. If I got a senior-laden team, you know what? I'm going to play a harder schedule because I want them. If I've got a younger team, I'm going to be able. So what you're saying, you're not even be able to basically build a schedule to even improve your team because you're worried about finances so much. Is that really basically what you're saying? That you can't even let the schedule work to help build your team?
Well, to be honest with you, yes and no. When I first got to UAPB, I had to bring in, I brought in $150,000. Okay, and that may not seem like a lot to you all because you can go and play one game and go and get 700,000. But the maximum amount of money that a lot of schools are being able to bring in our conference, and I talk to coaches in this conference, is from 75,000 on the women's side to 100,000. So for us to bring in 150, what I'm saying to you is there's no roster that you can put together to be able to withstand to play teams where you got to bring in that type of money. I don't care unless you're having a perfect night. You cannot put together that roster in order to play a schedule like that. However, if you got to bring in 75,000, you can build your roster to compete because you don't have to go and play SEC, ACC. You can go and play a Southern Miss and get 15,000. You ain't got to go and play a Ole Miss and get 25. And maybe you can beat Southern Miss. You can go play a UAB and get 12,000. You ain't got to go and play Auburn to get 27,000. So it just depends on how much money you really have to bring in to dictate how you can strategically plan your scheduling. For us this year at UAPB, when I was at UAPB, my schedule with our recruits were it was designed for us to be able to compete. Now, if you see us in the preseason, I don't have it. Those who are watching, they can go and look. We lost to Oregon State by 10. We lost to Mississippi State by 12 or 13. And we beat to Arkansas. We lost to North Texas, who just won a championship by 3 or 4, maybe 5, because we had to foul on the end or whatever that looks like. But it took 5 years to have a schedule to be able to compete versus those type of schools. So for us, a lot of times, if you have a high roster rotation or you got to bring in high dollars, it's never going to be designed for you to really and truly beat those type of teams. So yes, you're worrying about the financial aspect of how you're going to help sustain the rest of the department. That's true.
Yeah, the sad part about it, I can say it, and she can't really say it. These athletic directors are actually piggybacking off of these coaches and putting them in those situations when they themselves should be going to have fundraisers. Yeah, it's true that the bottom PWI schools do play the major schools, but they don't play 10 of them. You know, and in basketball, it's a shame that, especially men's swag basketball, because I played, they start off either 0-10, you know, they might get a win here or there, they might start 2-8. But it's always they digging out the hole before they start playing conference play, and that's just it shouldn't be right. It's not right, but they should be going to raise those funds and not putting their basketball programs in those situations. You know, so well, I can see that.
Honey, I hate to cut you off, but I do have to give flowers and respect where it is due. Mm-hmm. However, at Alabama A&M University with Dr. Paul A. Bryant as my athletic director, that AD told me, my AD told me, I need you to focus on winning games and I'm going to raise the money.
So watch that now. And that's for homeboy. You know, that's for homeboy in Ohio.
So everything that y'all just said
don't apply to you.
It don't apply to me. So why everybody talking about it was a lateral move? It don't apply to me.
well, let me ask you this. I want to kind of change gears a bit and talk about another woman coach that is okay. If you're familiar with Sydney Carter, who is the assistant coach at the University of Texas, she's a faster, whatever that word is. She's fashionable, right? Mm-hmm. Now, Coach Cole says that fashion is one of your calling cards and one of your signatures as well. What did you think about her response to the criticism that she had with some of the outfit choices that she made during the tournament?
I think she definitely and had to understand that it's okay to be different. It's okay to be outside of the box. It's really okay to be outside of the box. It's 2024. We're not coaching back in the 90s and the 80s when everybody wore a black suit, a gray suit, a brown suit, blue suit. That's not the day and age that we're in. And as coaches, as long as it's respectful, as long as you can embrace it and you can wear it and it's not a distraction to the game. When you're talking about what the fans looking at behind us, y'all. We talking about we talking about not a distraction to the game. You got to embrace it. And I thought that she's done a phenomenal job of using her platform to show that it is okay to be a fashionista on the sideline
Oh,
and
that's
be
the word right there.
yeah,
That's the
you
word.
said it right. It's okay to be a fashionista. It's okay to embrace who you are and what you bring to this game because she adds a lot of value to this game by the way that she dresses. A lot of times, honestly, because I like to think that I've been doing this for a minute as well. And I ain't trying to, those who know. Those who know. But she has allowed me. She's pushed me out of the box, and I
Mm.
like that because I've been a I've been a diva for a very long time. I've been the diva coach for a long time, but she's amplified that divaism, if that's a word, for me to be able to be outside of the box a little bit more. So I really appreciate what she's done and how she's allowed the game to grow.
Now, this guy says Kim Mulkey does the same thing with her. That's a new thing for Kim Mulkey. I grew up in Waco. I lived here most of my life. That ain't what she always did. I think that's some Bourbon Street new stuff that she's at LSU. That's not always what she did at Baylor.
She has like a designer there. I talked to somebody that's kind of close to her. There's a boutique there in Baton Rouge
Okay.
so what you see is their brand. That's why everything is sparkly and that's their brand. They've done that for her.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we really had a great time talking to you, and you held on with us for better than an hour. I'll make sure Coach Cole puts that NIL check in the mail. But Coach, is there anything you'd like to say before you get out of here? I just want to say thank you, and if Bishop Campbell,
Look,
Coach Cole would like to say anything as well.
Hey, Rocky, I'm sorry. We forgot to ask one question because Coach Miss Thornton, and I know said you're gonna be like, boy, you let my wife on this cat here in the middle, Bishop Campbell. We had our Caitlin talk. How do you feel about the school going to the NBA?
Say that one more time.
WNBA, I'm sorry. Say
that one more time.
Caitlin.
Uh-huh.
How successful do you think she'll be in the NBA? I think that's what Coach Cole is asking.
How do you think she's going to be in the NBA?
I think she's about to change the game in the WNBA also. There's no doubt in my mind that young woman has competed on a high level every single night. She is who she is. And she's unapologetic about it. And I think that the league is going to embrace that. I think that you're going to see more players that's okay with shining the way. Did you see some of the shots she was taking? I was like, don't shoot. Oh.
Look, Coach, I be trying to tell these non-coaches that got all this history. This girl is 6 feet. This girl
let me ask you this, Coach. We're gonna talk a little X's and O's right quick, Coach. What do you think about deploying those big wings on Caitlin in the WNBA? They have big wings in the WNBA. Big athletic wings in the WNBA that are going to be able to play her man to man, and she's also going to have to check those guys on the other side. How do you think that's going to play?
We ain't care about no defense, man. We putting points up. This girl is 6 feet. She's 6 feet. She ain't no small woman.
Does teams play defense before the playoffs?
Say that again.
I said, do teams play defense before the playoffs?
No, they don't.
I think she's going to be capable of doing. She's going to leave her legacy in the WNBA by all means. She's going to go down as one of the most prolific scorers in the WNBA. There's no doubt in my mind about it. I mean, if she don't want to play defense, all they got to do is just put on somebody who she ain't got to worry about. That's it. But
you said something. You said something, and I think Mr. Bishop missed that. You said even in the NBA, they gonna really start playing defense to the playoffs.
No, they don't.
They're gonna let her.
Now, Coach, wait a minute, Coach. Let me give you context to the question. See, Coach Cole is being disingenuous.
Okay.
What happened was I don't know if you saw it, but the Phoenix Mercury has put out. Everybody's putting out the schedules, right? And there's a picture where they have Diana Taurasi and it says the GOAT versus the Rook. Okay, that is a clear shot at Caitlin Clark. And Diana Taurasi has already stated that there's levels to this. And what I told Coach, I said that UConn crew is put a bullseye on that girl, because when you start talking about people, and Coach, you are in this business, so you know what I'm saying. When you start saying somebody is the GOAT that has not won a championship, and then you've got Breonna Stewart, Maya Moore, Diana Taurasi, who are on the GOAT level. Those girls have a group chat too, Coach. Do not think that those UConn girls don't have a group chat and say, okay, we're going to show. And it's Coach, you understand, it's a pride thing. It is a pride thing. It is a sorority. It is a family. So what I was telling Coach is that when I saw that, I said, Coach, Taurasi might drop 40 on her, just to let her know, to say, hey, there's love. And she said that there's love. Breonna Stewart is going to make sure she's going to catch some of these hands. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we were talking about, Coach. So I think she's going to be great. But I think that a lot of these WNBA players are going to say, hey, listen, it's not going to be easy in this league. There's only 144 players.
Well, she's gonna do her time now. Let's. Kobe did the same thing, right? You know, Mike did it to Kobe when Kobe first got in the league, when Mike was still there. So that she's going to do her time. Don't get me wrong.
Coach, speak.
But I think that she's going to embrace it because she wants to go down as one of the best scorers in history. I definitely believe that she plays with a chip on her shoulder. There are many that were before her that's going to be great, and there's going to be many that's going to be great after her. But it's kind of like, you know, back in you talking about who's better, Kobe or LeBron? And, you know, like, it's going to be great regardless, you know? And I think it's just whatever your personal preference is. Do you like a flashy person? Do you not? I mean, whatever. And I don't know. Everybody has their own preference, but I definitely think that she's going to go down in our women's game as one of the greatest of all times as well. I definitely.
Because she got an assist game as well. She sees the floor as well. I mean, this girl is special. She's special, but I get you, Coach Kevin.
But it's unfortunate that she's going to have to take a pay cut going to the WNBA.
Yeah, no, yeah. $70,000. Jesus, she can go overseas and make $1 million easy. She probably go over there after the season, right? And
she will.
Yeah. That's where you make the big bucks at. Well, Coach, thank you, Don. Tell your husband, man, I put the N. Well, hey, blame it on Rocky. You got the N in there. And Don, you know when he be telling me my last name is Thornton. Last name is Thornton. You know, like that's his name. You know what I'm saying? And I wish well for you.
Wait a minute. That's his what?
That's his. He says that's his last name. My last name is Thornton. I'm like, well, I'm talking to your wife. My last name is Thornton. You left out the N. I said, okay. We will get that right and spell your last name. Not your wife's, but your last name. I get it.
When you get married, you become one. And so what's yours is mine. So it's mine now. We won. It's mine.
Hey, so I made sure when we made the correction, I sent it to him first.
And you know what? I didn't even catch it either.
Oh, wow. Well, when you talk to Tamika, you tell Tamika, Cole ain't got to chase you down. Now, we don't met with Obama and these folks is stepping ground, but I got to get on the list.
I'll make sure I let her know.
Thank you very much. And we'll be talking with you and we'll be watching you all the way.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Woo.
Let me put us back up.
That was a good one.
Coach, that was big time, Coach. That was big time. You came through with another one, Coach. Thank you so much for using your contacts and your wife. See, Coach, you know coaches. Through Coach Thornton, you were able to connect with his wife, Coach. Man, you got a network that don't never end, Coach. It just goes and goes and goes and goes, Coach.
My Dixie has been on me rough and hard having me this morning about my connections. And so, you know, we trying to put together something. and hopefully it all materialized. But Coach Campbell, we are
Yes,
over
sir.
there. Well, we're gonna be both. Look, we're gonna do when we need to set up when Caitlin played her first game.
Hey, Coach, listen, like I say, listen, like I told everybody, I am a huge women's basketball fan. This is the first time I'm going to buy some tickets to see the Dream and see when she comes into town. Also the Aces and a couple other teams. So man, this is an exciting time for women's basketball. This is an exciting time. And like I told Coach, what I'm hoping is that this energy again comes all the way down to our level. I want people, because we've had some outstanding female basketball players in the HBCU level in the SWAC and stuff like that. I go on name, leading scorer, leading rebounders, things like that. So I'm super excited. So yeah, absolutely, Coach. Absolutely, Coach.
It says the first game is sold out. The Dallas Wings already. So
yeah,
like I say, I think now, Mr. Campbell, do you foresee them having to do something with the pay, with the popularity of the game?
Well, okay. So here's the thing. And I saw this argument. Jamel Hill wrote an interesting article, and she said and I think I want everybody, she wrote on The Athletic, and she blamed the gatekeepers. But here's the thing. Always remember, business is about supply and demand, okay? So what has hurt the WNBA is they have not had these players that now are transcendent. Again, we've had Diana Taurasi, an amazing player. Brown Stewart, amazing player. But Caitlin Clark is a LeBron-type figure, is a Michael Jordan-type figure. You got to understand something. Think about, and this goes back, and Coach, you're going to remember this. The highest rated NCAA basketball game on the men's side is Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird, okay? What you had for Caitlin Clark, she did it 2 years in a row. She had the black girl LSU team the first year, and she had the black girl team, South Carolina, the second year. White people love that. That makes a lot of money. And we have to be honest about the racial dynamics that play into who Caitlin Clark is. Not only her skill. Larry Bird wasn't only Larry Bird because he was skilled. So she brings that dynamic, but also the skill. So what's going to happen now is, and what I hope the WNBA players do, and make sure that when these arenas are filled, when these TV ratings go up, that whenever their next contract is, that they say, hey, now we got to get paid. But again, now you know what you got to do? You got to keep it going. So the Jujus, the Hannah Hidalgos, the Malaysia Falales, and those girls that are coming up, those girls got to carry the torch now because they got to keep it exciting. So that's the thing about it. They have to keep building off of this because you can't have a flash in the pan where you just got one girl, Caitlin Clark, and then everybody else, I'm not going to watch. Because storylines are built because you're playing against somebody. That's why I was talking about with Coach. That story, Diana Taurasi versus Caitlin Clark, that they already say that's what basketball is about. One-on-one competition. You got the ball, I got the ball. Come on, you got to guard me.
Well,
I'm going to call you out.
Let me ask you this, Coach Campbell. I always thought the problem with women's basketball is that the stars of the collegiate game was always the coaches, right? In the women's games, the stars were the coaches. They never they never promoted the players like they have with Caitlin Clark. Like, again, there was a white girl a few years ago that put up points just like Caitlin Clark. I can't think of her name, but she was out west somewhere. Out Oregon, maybe? Was she at Oregon?
Well, Sabrina Ionescu. But you remember, so let me, real quick, I don't want to cut you off, but they tried to do the hype train, but remember, Sabrina, because she had all the NBA players behind and everything, but she was playing during the COVID year. And that's what killed her momentum. Because she was going into the COVID year. So that's what happened to Sabrina Ionescu. That's why, again, you see the NBA, that's why they had the three-point contest with her and Steph Curry, because they're trying to do the same thing with her, again, to raise these players up. So I just want to put that out there. That's what happened with her.
Yeah, because I remember that, but it just seemed like it never caught on. I just hope they allow the players to be the stars in the game moving forward. And Gino and Kim and Dawn, they're great personalities, whatever, but they don't play the game. To start promoting the players, well, I believe will help the WNBA moving forward. Same way that they used to do with Cynthia Holtzclaw and Candace Parker and the girls of that ilk, you know. And there could be tremendous anticipation with this crop of women that's going to be going to the NBA in the next few years.
Well, man, I look forward to WNBA. And we look forward to Texas Southern had a spring football game.
Okay.
And heard that the defensive line and offensive line played well. Quarterback could be better. They felt that the wide receivers can take it off the top, get deep quick. The secondary was okay, and you know the way they sound is shoot, man. But when you look at the West Side, I don't mean. Am I changing the subject?
No. You're good. You're good.
Okay. When you look at the West Side, you had Texas Southern new coach, Alcorn State new coach, Grambling new coach, Southern new coach, Prairie View second-year coach, Pine Bluff second-year coach. So really, you know, it's a toss-up. It's up in the air. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the east side, you know, of course, Maynard's established. He's the grandfather now. We got Valley, got a second-year coach. Alabama State, third-year coach. Bethune-Cookman, second-year coach. And, of course, Florida A&M, first-year coach. So, I mean, you know, you got a lot of newness, you know, really when you as a whole on the conference, but it's a toss-up on the West Side when you really look at it. I mean, who really been dominated out of that side over there? So, you know, shit, you might get a Texas Southern or a Pine Bluff or a Grambling to pop up because the last couple of years it's been what? Southern and Prairie View.
So let me ask you this, Coach Cole. With the transfer portal, you know, being you know, it's being open here shortly. Do you believe that a team could change their fate between now and the fall through the transfer portal?
Coach, without a doubt. I mean, it's no question. You know, that's the new thing. I mean, you know, again, you know, back when we were at Alabama State in 2000, they hadn't had a winning season in 9 years, Rocky. Matter of fact, it was almost 10 years before they won a championship. We went out and signed 20 junior college players back then.
Wow.
20. And we won the East Division. Matter of fact, we tied with Alabama A&M our first year. So do I believe it? Done it. Done it.
Okay.
You know? And so, yes. And I think that in this day and time, this is the microwave time. This what have you done for me lately, Campbell? It's look, I ain't got time to be built. We want it now. You know what I'm saying? They ain't waiting around for you to build no program.
Well, I've been telling you, you have all these people on social media crying, oh, all these players are leaving FAMU, all these players are leaving this school. But listen, man, it's 1,200 players in the portal. And to Coach's point, if you've got a solid program, and Coach Thornton talked about this, well, you're going to be able to get you a solid player out that portal. And you know what's funny, Coach? What I've told all the FAMU people, when you got players, there are players in the portal that are better than the players that's leaving. That's the thing about it. So there are upgrade possibilities. So I think, again, if we keep the main thing, I think there's a tremendous opportunity for teams to immediately, especially on the defensive end. And, Coach, you know this better than me because you got to put it off there. But, hey, defensive guy, hey, man, seek and hit. You get a couple of defensive end, he can change the whole game for you in the season. So, you know, so I'm super excited about it.
Right. Well, man, shoot.
Well, what do you think is causing the movement in the transfer portal with Florida A&M after not having any movement during the transition from Willie to Cozy?
Well, okay. So it's two sets of players. First, you have players, and this is all the swag school. If a player didn't play, he's getting in the portal. Okay, that's the majority of our players. We've got 3 guys: Anthony Dunn, Gentle Hunt, and another guy and Cheney that actually played. Well, guess what happens when these guys are good? You know what happens? People are gonna start saying, "Hey, you're good. Come play for us." So that's kind of what happens. So again, and let's not be fooled. Every one of these players want to play at a higher level. Just point blank, period. We have to be honest with that. So again, if you have an Anthony Dunn, I heard Scotty talking about he might have an offer in Indiana, he got an offer in Alabama. Now, what I'm curious about, if he got that offer, why he ain't signed yet, if that's true. Because if you got that offer, it looked like I would have been gone, packed my bags, and been up there to Alabama. You know what I mean? And stuff. So I think, again, a lot of these players, and let me say one other thing. I'm going to get on my soapbox, Coach, and I'm going to say this. But here's what I had to do a little research. We are now starting to see the basketballification of college football. What I mean by that, You got a lot of people that are calling themselves NIL agents that are giving a lot of these players a lot of bad advice. And they're telling kids, you get in the portal, I get you an NIL deal. And then you go look at it, and I'm not going to call the guy's name out because he's an HBCU alum, but a lot of these guys are not agents. They have never signed a player, and they're telling players that they're going to get them NIL deals. And I don't believe they're going to, because I'm looking at their resume. And they're telling a lot of these players, you could go here and get an NIL deal. And I'm seeing a lot of that with a lot of our SWAC schools because they have to sign with these players, sign with these agents, and it's listed. And I'm seeing all these from Jackson State, from FAMU, from Southern, and they all start with this group of guys, and their whole thing is, I'm getting them NIL deal. And I'm like, where? So I think we're seeing a lot of what happened in basketball with the AAU circuit coming to college football now because of NIL.
This NIL and this collective bargain, man, it's going to come to a point that really somebody's going to have to step in, or a group got to step in and make sure it's fair play and make sure these young kids are not getting used up and making sure they understand that this money ain't going to last forever. And, somebody, it's wild, Rocky. It's like wild, wild west, baby.
Yeah, I'm like I say, I'm looking at it, and I'm just wondering, like especially a team like FAMU, the returning, the defending SWAC champion, defending college football national champion. What would happen in a program to make a kid want to leave that opportunity? And like you say, it was just pursuing their own individual. Now I can understand Alabama, but there's not many situations that I see that a kid would want to go from, unless there's money involved, because that kind of changes the whole dynamic. A kid like Gentle Hunt, he can get drafted. He can pursue his dream as a NFL player coming right from FAMU.
Well, see, this goes back to my thing. That's why I think we need to focus on facilities and not focus on the NIL, because we're not going to win that. That's the reason why I was talking to Coach about that and wanted to see our thoughts, because I think, again, if we upgrade our facility, I think that's where we can kind of level the playing field. But, again, when you got talented players, like I say, and Bishop Bonner, one of our FAMU legends, they said, hey, Dunn's going to SC, that's big time. So, again, I mean, you can't be mad at a kid if somebody's saying they come to Alabama. I understand that. You know what I mean? So I don't have a problem with that. But what I'm concerned about is these second-level kids that clearly need to stay at FAMU, let them learn, let them build within FAMU, not go in the portal, and then all of a sudden they don't have an opportunity because a team is not going to sign them. Those are the kids I'm really worried about.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Good, man.
What did I'll never forget, Scotty had Willie Simmons on the show after he won the SWAC championship, and he talked about having 3,000, 4,000 kids being left in the portal. Where do those kids go? What are their options? In the mindset behind giving up a scholarship that you earned out of high school or whatever in hopes to get something better, and that never pans out. What happens to those kids, and how many of those kids look like us?
That would be my point. What happens to them? I mean, where do they go? And then they put the burden on the parents because now they got to find scholarship, or they try to go back to the place that they left. And those coaches can cut them as well. You know what I mean?
See, and that's why it's so dangerous now with these NIL agents that are not regulated like an NFL agent. This is what's really dangerous, because again, I really, and I'm gonna say this again, I went and looked because I wanted to see why are all these kids jumping in the portal, and I'm saying I'm going to get them an NIL deal, and I'm like, I don't see your track record. So again, when you're and listen, man, we all been in college, and somebody gonna say, hey man, I'm gonna get you $1,000, I'm gonna get you $2,000, I'm gonna get you $3,000. Oh man, what you gonna get? I'm gone, I'm out. But it's not realistic. It's not an honest conversation. And that's where I think again, a lot of our HBCU, and I think our coaches need to start talking about this more and really sound the alarm, because we got a lot of these street agents causing problems.
Huh. What was that Bobby Bowden was saying?
He said Bobby Bowden's son, Terry Bowden, said this morning in the radio interview that the players get in the transfer portal which they're not alumni anywhere, and do get to join Greek organizations, etc. I don't know what he's trying to say with that.
What is that saying?
Yeah.
Is he saying that they play it somewhere and then go somewhere else?
Well, I think and Ronald can correct it in another comment, but I think what he's saying, when guys get in the transfer portal, they don't have a connection to the school. They're not alumni anymore. They're not, you know what I mean, so on and so forth. You don't have any connection. They're hired mercenaries, so to speak.
Unless they get in some type of Greek organization.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I got you. Hey, did y'all notice something today when I blinked off?
What?
Y'all didn't even notice. I put my HBCU
shirt
on.
Yeah, Coach. I see.
But Coach, I came prepared. I can't lock the loader.
I know.
I did
You
see
threw
that.
it right in my face. I was like, "That's right. I got my shirt."
Coach had to blink off.
Yeah, you took that Versace off and put a.
He did a Rakia Jackson stage left change.
Yeah,
Had to change his outfit.
Well, I'm going to get on Tamika. I'm going to stay on her so we can get on this show, and get it out there and kind of go from there. And I guess we need to make sure we check on what game that we're going to take our show to.
Absolutely, Coach. I got some ideas, Coach. I actually want to see. I think I'm pretty much got the okay to go to Atlanta for the Swag Miak Challenge.
Now we got to make sure, though, guys. Is Florida A&M playing in that?
Yeah, we're playing Norfolk State. Miak Swag Challenge.
We got to get our stuff in to get past.
Yeah.
And we need to be doing that. Can you do that, Campbell? Make sure that happens for Florida A&M. We'll need both teams.
Yeah, I'll hit Josh to see what it. But I think we got to talk to John Grant actually, because John Grant runs the MEAC SWAC Challenge. So we probably have to talk to John Grant.
If you know who the contacts are and who the who the communication director of that event, I definitely would like to go. That'll be a great way to start the football season, to see Alabama State and Andrew Body take on.
No. That's down in Miami.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now you trying to go Miami?
I'm talking about FAMU.
Yeah.
Who throws the game? Who's over the game?
The same organization that does the Celebration Bowl.
Oh, okay. I know exactly the lady we need to send our stuff to.
Yep. The same thing. And that's why a lot of people don't understand why they don't have classics in Atlanta anymore, because there's a blackout, 6-day blackout period in the back of that game and in the front of the Celebration Bowl, which basically doesn't allow to have a HBCU classic in Atlanta anymore.
Well, we got to get our passes for that, so we can do a sideline deal and then we can go up top.
All right, let's do it.
Let's
and
do
plus,
it.
we're getting a suite anyway, so Coach, we're gonna be good either way.
We with Bishop Campbell.
That's right. That's what we do, baby.
Strike, and strike again.
Hey,
Absolutely. Man, it's been great.
Talking about don't smile.
Hey, I gotta
don't smile too hard.
I got to get ready for my big game tomorrow at 4:00 with my 10, 11-year-olds. We ready to roll. We put a jump, in small basketball, Pop Warner. I know
Youth basketball, yeah.
You can't press,
right?
So I put me a 1-3-1 in. So as soon as they cross over that half court, we gonna trap. And I've been working on. We worked on it for 2 days, baby. We ready to roll.
Hey! You're not trying to win the game, are you?
Not really.
Coach right here doing a Rick Pitino 1-3-1 jump and trap. Come on, Coach.
Yeah, running jump.
That was famous at Kentucky. Come on, Coach. You Rick Pitino on these kids.
What you try to guide it? You try to steer him into that dead man's corner over there?
Hey, I'm trying to get so far ahead of the team, I can play those non-players. It's a league that everybody got to play. So,
hey, man, this is the second donation from a man, Swag fan. We want to appreciate the donation, man. It all goes toward a really, really good cause, man. Thank you so much, Swag fan 100.
And when we got to do better, Campbell and me too, we got to tell these people to subscribe to our channel, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. We got to do that. Okay.
All right. All right, Coach, you take us out of here, man.
Man, as I always say, man, when you feel yourself at the end of the rope, don't do nothing to yourself. Just tie it now and hold on tight because ain't nobody bad like you.